Would you like to be able to suss out liars? Want to read people's intentions in an instant? Or be able to take one look at your partner and suss out if they're telling the truth or not? Hello there people, it is BelievingBruce, the body language guy. Mental health, psychological performance, anything to do with the head and heart, this is the channel for you. We've only been going 6 months, but we are gaining some traction. UK YouTube sensation Joe Weller was asked who is the best body language guy on YouTube.
BelievingBruce.
Newcastle phenom True Geordie was asked who is the best body language guy on YouTube.
BelievingBruce.
In this body language, mental health, psychology channel's been going that good, I even got invited on ITV News to talk about my passion, which is mental health. And the views have been going through the roof as well. We've had Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz body language. We've had the potential naughty Prince Andrew body language video, was he lying or not? And then also the KSI Logan Paul, there were nearly 400,000 views, that body language video, absolute sensational. And I've had loads of people say, come on BelievingBruce, do Love Island, we'd love to see if there's a liar on there, who's playing the game, who's not. So I thought, okay, let's dive into it for this series. So if you are interested in body language, psychology, trying to find out who's lying or not, if you want to become an amateur Sherlock Holmes, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, but also please comment below, let me see what you're seeing, because the whole idea with this series, if you stick with it, is to be able to take my knowledge and give it to you, so we can all be that little bit more in tune with what people are saying, so we can be more accurate or more exploratory about who's lying and who's not. And please follow me at Instagram and Twitter, here's my handles, I'm always putting little snippets and stuff on there. So again, if you're interested, please follow us, it'll be great to hear from you. Now, as I said, everybody's interested in psychology, everybody's interested in body language. You know, which way are the eyes looking, are they doing this, are they doing that? And I'm fortunate that I've been in this game for 20 years, where as well as the academic qualifications that I've got, I've had the experience, the experiential learning, if you will, of tens of thousands of hours over 20 years of asking people questions and then just shutting up and watching them. And over this period of time, that's where I've noticed trends, that way I've noticed certain behavioural patterns, so as well as my knowledge increasing, I've had that exposure of tens of thousands of hours of just actually sitting and being silent and looking at people. And there are certain clues, certain body behavioural clusters that people give off that indicate if they're lying or that indicate if there's something else just going on in their heads and hearts. And again, so it's my intention with this series, with like all the other videos that I'm doing, to give you the knowledge that I've got to show you what I pick up on, so you can start practicing observing rather than just seeing. And that's the key with body language, is that we see, but we tend to be focused on what we want to do. We tend to be focused on giving our opinions, where actually to observe is a skill. So think of this as fun, humorous training, if you will. The beautiful thing with Love Island is that, and we talk about the context, the beautiful thing with Love Island is that they're already set up in a false environment. And from a body language perspective, and from, being entertaining, if you will, it is a fantastic context to base our discussions on. And the first thing that I want to talk about is that they're already guilty, if you will. A lot of people come onto Love Island saying, I'm here to find love, I'm here to find the one, and straight away they're already lying, alright? There is hundreds of other methods that people could go to find love. Let's be authentic here. The reason why people come onto Love Island is because of fame. They want fame, they want fortune, they want the adoration and everything else that goes with it. Now that's not bad. That's absolutely not bad, it's not terrible, it is the authentic truth. But by them saying that they're not there for that, or not, acknowledging that they're there for the fame and the fortune, etc., and saying I'm just here for love, they're already lying. So they're already switching their brain into lying mode. And you'll understand this, I just want you to reflect on you or your partner. You may be sitting with your partner now, but your partner get nervous. Because if you've done anything guilty and then somebody asks you about it, because you're already guilty, you behave in a way that you are guilty. If you haven't done something and somebody asks you about it, it's quite normal, you'll have a chat about it. But because you've already done so, because you're already lying about it, your body acts in different ways. And it's these little micro expressions that BelievingBruce is going to jump on, is going to explore, is going to bring your attention, so you can learn more about the art of body language reading. All of this external stimuli and internal thoughts that go on, this all affects our behaviours. So just a quick description, and again, this is a very quick overview, because the more the series goes on, the more videos I make, the more detail I'll go into. The more the data that will be available to pick from and then expand on, and just explain, well, this is what they've done, did you notice it, this is why they're doing it, etc., etc. So effectively, body language comes from the limbic system. We've got two real areas. We've got the prefrontal cortex, or the cortex area, and also the limbic system. Within the limbic system, this is where the body language comes from, all right? Now, the limbic system comprises of, if we just call it four areas: the hypothalamus, the thalamus, the hippocampus, and the amygdala. And it's important to note that when we feel a threat, different areas of the brain are activated. And the two areas of the brain that I want to focus on, alright, is the cortex and the amygdala. Because in relation to body language, it's so important, alright? Because when we take in data, the thalamus brings an external stimuli, and if you imagine the thalamus is a bit of a junction, alright, a bit of a junction. That'll send it to the cortex and it'll send it to the amygdala. If the amygdala detects a threat, the amygdala will take over. Yeah, emotion starts to take over. Fear starts to take over. We see something that may affect our self-preservation. It's the saber-toothed tiger. Boom! The amygdala takes over the cortex responses and we are in an emotional state. We get the fight, flight or freeze response. During this, adrenaline's produced, noradrenaline, the sympathetic nervous system kicks in, and this does loads of things, brothers and sisters, to the way our body reacts and how we behave in that particular moment. This is the stuff that we're going to be looking upon to detect people's body language, whether they're lying or not, or at least to explore that a little bit further. Because when that adrenaline's released, when that noradrenaline starts pumping through the body and how it reacts with the muscles and what it does to our physiological state, that's what's interesting from a body language perspective. Because from body language, we're looking for synchrony, congruence, alright? Two different areas of the brain, so our speech can be controlled by the prefrontal cortex, the logic part of the brain. We think about it, we come up with a sentence, we start to talk. But automatic reactions, if you will, where we look, what we do with our hands, where we point to, all this type of stuff is autonomous. It comes from the limbic system. So what we're looking for with body language are the words what we say and lining up with what our body's doing. Now an exaggerated version would be this. When someone says, you know, have you done your homework? And you say yes, but you shake your head. Now that's exaggerated, but that's what we're looking for. It's like the words didn't equal what the body was doing. And people say, oh well, you know, they scratch themselves or they rub their nose or they give their arm a rub, etc. There's generally a rule of thumb that I work to. What was being said 2 seconds before, 2 seconds after, and what did the body do? Because somebody can ask a question and it's right then at that particular moment. If they're either answering or they're being asked a question, what is their body doing right then? 2 seconds before, 2 seconds after, just as a rule of thumb. Now last year there was some great example with Tom and Maura, bless him. Alright, Tom, he was just aligned to telling lies. There was, and again, I'm not sure if it was the editing, but he'd done a lot of lies that was coming across. So I'm going to show you this video, this little clip. It was from the infamous moment where they were due to go to the hideaway. And he's having some crack with the lads and he makes a rude comment that Maura then picks up on. Have a look and see what you can see here.
You said what you said.
No, they asked me.
Yes, you did. Wait now, you said it. And now what, you're saying you didn't?
I repeated what they asked me. I said it'd be interesting to see if she's all mouth.
Yeah, you said it, Tom.
That's not
Yes,
it.
you said it, making me feel like a piece of shit.
I'm not, I'm flabbergasted. They asked me a question.
Okay, so that's the video there. I'm going to break it down here. This is what BelievingBruce does. We'll show the video and then step by step we will go through it. So first of all, did you see what his arms were doing when he was explaining it was them who said it and I was just responding? Let's watch this again.
Said.
No, they asked me.
Yes, you did. Said.
No, they asked me.
Yes, you did.
Okay, so did you see it wasn't lining up? And what I mean by that is when he was saying it was them who said it, I was just repeating. His arm behaviour is actually in reverse. Because what his body's doing is telling the truth. When he's saying it was them who was saying it and I was just repeating that, naturally that should be they said it, I repeated it. And he's pointing to them and he's pointing to himself. But what Tom actually does is when he says they said it and I repeated it, what his body's telling him, it was me who said it. Let's watch that again.
Said.
No, they asked me.
Yes, you did.
And it is there for everybody to see. His body's not lining up with what he's saying. But then also, did you notice the hand position?
Making me feel like a piece of shit. Making me feel like a piece of shit.
So do you see he's like this? Now you could say he's praying. He's praying for his life. But what's going on here? Have you noticed the stillness in Tom's hands?
Making me feel like a piece of shit.
Now the stillness is a key because when we detect threat, imagine you are sitting at home with your partner one night watching the TV and you hear a knock at the door. Everybody goes still. Who's that? Who's that? I've got no idea. I'm sitting on the settee next to you. We all go still. So as a species, when we detect threat, boom, we start. All of our actions slow down, are reduced. We go still. Just like in the middle of the night, you're crawling through the forest, if that's what you do. And then you hear a twig snap. Who's that? So you'll see in this conversation here, Tom's detecting the threat in the form of Maura, and because he's already starting to lie, he's zoning in, the more adrenaline's coming, it's starting to affect his body. So you see him here now, you could say, oh, he's praying, but what is the real giveaway is that the stillness of Tom's hands.
Making me feel like a piece of shit.
And then what we also look for is called behavioural clusters. So some things by themselves might not equal much, might be worth investigating. But when you've got 1, 2, 3 things coming here, you put it all together. Tom, brother, let's have a chat. And what we've got here is that throat tightening response, which Maura mercilessly picks up on. Again, the adrenaline, it's affecting his muscles, that starts to tighten, he can't get his words out, Maura crucifies from it. But put that all together, the lack of lining up between what he's saying and what his body's doing. The pause of the hands, the stillness due to the threat, and then the throat tightening activity because of the hormone production. Put all this together, brother Tom, just come clean. Because you've got that behavioural cluster there, biology does not lie. Alright, biology does not lie. Now it's really hard to say that definitively lying, but put those things all together. Whoa. So I'm sure the series is going to be great, you know, from the coupling up to how people get used to each other, to that self-preservation, to when they start the cull and people, you know, think, oh my God, this is where it gets real. There'll be trials, there'll be tribulations, there'll be lies, there'll be cheating, now all this type of stuff, which is what we associate with Love Island, which is why it's so entertaining. And BelievingBruce will be there every step of the way. So again, just some food for thought, just some basic stuff to go across. We're going to get into more depth. There'll be more examples of, you know, deceptive body language as the series goes on. But if you do want to be an amateur Sherlock Holmes, you do want to learn a little bit more about body language so you can start reading other people and even your partner, subscribe, hit the notifications button, join us at Twitter and Instagram, and let's share that learning together. It's going to be one hell of a series. But most importantly, BelievingBruce. Be kind to yourselves and each other.